Hello, lovely people.
Hi, long time.
It is apparently 3 months. Time
Yep.
flies instantly.
Yeah.
Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're all very well in these crazy, hugely dense times of propaganda and information and disinformation and general all out lying to the populace from all sorts of areas in your lives. And this is the practical stuff. How you're being guided to the next level of your own personal existence. And that bears heavily on the inner conscience of the individual, of the soul, because a way of life is being foisted upon you that you don't want ultimately. So, the purpose of this broadcast today is to open a spiritual court of equity. And we're just going to do that and assemble all the beings in the background. But hello, Harrison, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Hello, Angela. Things are wonderful where I am, and I'm looking forward to today's broadcast and see how the court is gonna react. Um, because what we are gonna look is how the world is moving. Categorically, what most people see will be they will be seeing the political fronts of the world and how their governments are treating them. And like right now, most countries are going to do an election this year. And election has morphed into something electronic, and we have been hearing stories of scandals related with these machines or systems that they are using. And people who are not popular with the people tend to always win these systems. And if you question, you get your gag orders, you are shut off any social medias or any of your posts are not seen. So technically people are censored. And a lot of people are feeling a lot of pressure because of the way their governments are treating them, uh, because there are hikes in their in taxes. Inflation is kind of skyrocketing, and it seems like these people are not working for the people; they are working for other guys. And most of these guys, you'll never see them on TV or in front of a camera, or they are like shadow people but quite powerful. So that's what you're gonna look at today.
So, when we step out into the street and we see all these really tall buildings overpowering our view of the sky, it begins to make you feel small. Now, propaganda is designed to program your mind, program your thought into the way of thinking of the system, individuals in that system, keying into your emotional feelings about the way you live. And often it makes you feel powerless. There is an increase in homelessness, and in this particular instance, I'm referring to World to Domination and Control Centre at in England with the royal families and so on. Now, there's a whole picture here that has not been keyed into it. People have asked questions, offered a subjective opinion, and one of the things the spiritual court of equity is open, by the way. And we're just bringing in the background all those that are perpetuating this agenda on a 3D level to your face, lying to your face. Then we have the hidden level of the shadow government overarching demiurges, energies that really kind of control the way that your body interacts with this time space reality. So it's a process, a moment by moment process here. So those behind the scenes might not necessarily be from Earth. They might have their origins elsewhere, factions and groups. So we want to bring into the spiritual port of equity any particular faction, planetary system, grouping, whoever you are, who has an interest in restricting and suppressing and harvesting the resources of planet Earth and its inhabitants for its own use. From now, past, present, and future. And that's just coming in nicely. While that's happening,
Yep.
God, it feels awful, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to bring this image to the fore. And let's see. Okay, let's have a look here. There we go. That's just coming in nicely. While that's happening, switched me on. I don't know. Right. So let's go back to that. Back to meeting. Don, we're here. Don't want that. I'm so sorry about this. Usually there's some sort of right going on, something that needs to be moved. Come back to that. This, finally. So this was recently released by an artist who specialized in painting I don't even want to say the chief of the royal family with that expression. They didn't accurately paint his claws, but I will say this. It's interesting how he emerges through the red mist. And somebody online additionally added the notorious paedophile Jimmy Savile with the Monarch programming. And I think that they absolutely nailed it, because this is an accurate representation, because this voice spoke into these very ears, the king's advisor, the fool, procuring children for the royal family that have a questionable origin and faulty DNA, making them not human, but prone to human emotions, which is why he ended up having some form of stomach cancer. There is tremendous impact here. I just wanted to point that out. Tremendous impact to him personally, because he was not loved by his mother. And whatever race you are, whatever culture you are, the mother is a very important figurehead role in a child's life. And sometimes the emotional damage that is literally done by emotional neglect sets the scene for years to come and will end up in chronic disease. They do not want you to realize the power of your soul. They want you to live and believe what they say. So here we have the red mist. Now, when you are dealing with transhumanism, there will be a red conversion mist ready to access the central nervous system and other parts of the body that operate and function on a biochemical level. Now, the last few years, we've seen an increase in certain chemicals that are injected into beings that change them at an internal level of who they are. And we have noticed quite substantially, that people are dying, people are getting sick with specific illnesses related to the last few years. So that is a tragedy, a human tragedy. In the meantime, you're being distracted with wars and fighting and extreme anger in certain groups and factions. But all of this is by the by. It's part of the plan. to distract your consciousness away from the universe that operates within you. So when I say to people, everything in your reality you create within you, they will say, "Oh, how does that happen? What's going on with that?" But it's the truth, because we've been taught to externalize reality as everything that's going on outside of us, when in reality, it's what's going on inside of us that creates that. So if you believe the system, if you believe the narratives that are being thrown in your pathway, then you will eventually create that reality. Now, the question is, I'm just keeping an eye on who's coming into that spiritual court of equity. And I just wanted to add something in here. I want to make sure we've got everybody in from other dimensions above and below the earthly plane, because we're all going to deal with it today in a very different way. And we seek for, so how do we have control over this reality? Propaganda lie that is people are living and believing, living and breathing and manifesting. How do we get around that when there are so many people with so many different opinions and so many different core, rigid, ingrained beliefs that this is the way it's going to be, and people feel powerless? So today in the spiritual court of equity, I urge you, I invite you to find and access your power within and support this spiritual court of equity for the breakdown of lies here. So I'm into the spiritual court. I'm going to invite all souls that are in consciousness, living consciousness in physical bodies here as well, ancestors of the UK and other countries. The anger in the ancestral part of Britain is off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, Harrison, can you describe what you observe with those that have a financial interest in Earth? And harvesting the resources, the propagandists.
So the moment I look, just a moment. The moment I look deep into this scenario that's happening, there's this for the first picture that I'm getting, and this is when I think it was before it was in Berlin, where they had the map of Africa and other parts of the world, and they were going to distribute, each region to, and assign it to one of the Western nations. And so you have the map of the world with the people inside, and then you have these figures, in dark suits, and then they are subdividing and owning places that has owners, and their aim was to go there, pillage, rape, destroy, milk all the energy that is there, and have a slave class that you can rule over forever and ever. And that's the image that I'm getting. And this is the relationship that our planet has with these shadow guys who are the controllers. And the way we feel is through the monetary system. And the way the monetary system works is through our energy, where we spend our time and effort and everything to earn these finances. And this system, they can just print it out of thin air and create things that are non-existent, and the population is working so hard to gain all these, or to accumulate some of these well, so that they can be able to sustain themselves through the system. And this is how they keep the people in a kind of a rat race, and dictate the kind of direction they want to see the world going, by keeping the people obstructed or distracted from what they're supposed to be doing, by making sure that you don't have enough. You are always worried. And then if that is not giving you a wake-up call or to focus on the system, they automatically or out of nowhere diseases start manifesting, and new guidelines, regulation have to come, and it's like it's their way or the highway. That's how I can describe that situation.
That is exactly it. It's their way or no way. So
Yep.
which way do you choose? Do you choose their limited options or not? Do you choose your soul?
Mm.
And these are some heavy duty questions here. So I'm just explaining to the soul groups here. I'm going to ask them what they would like to do. Because we have a huge representation here from Inner Earth, and some groups and factions that have been controlling things from down there since their emergence, and backed up by false stories of who the people are and the time frames involved. There's so many lies going on, we wouldn't even know. So in this moment, I'm going to ask all souls here, who wants to live like a slave for the next period of time? Who wants their future generations to live under a regulated narrative that supports your death, ultimately, without a care in the world? Which soul groups want that? That caused a hush, didn't it?
Yep.
It's under consideration. It's a hefty question to answer. Well, I'm going to speak for my soul groups, is that they're not interested in somebody else's options or what they might think, because what we're dealing with, yes, they've rolled out a heavy game. Yes, but it's under force and coercive control. That is abuse. So while the populations on Earth are being regularly abused and gaslit, it's up to each and every soul here to take control of their own reality. So I'm going to invite the souls to remedy this today in a very different way, utilizing their infinite being and strength. So, beautiful souls of light, in this moment, there's some deep sadness here. Deep sadness for Earth, for themselves, for their families. They do not want this. Am I wrong, Harrison?
Nope. But also I'm getting this feeling of tiredness, like they are so much tired of what has happened to them. Some of them, they have reached a point where they don't know, they can't even think. It's like they are lost in this kind of mist that we saw earlier represented in this photo. And these two guys are the ones who are imagining, like, to show them the way of how, or to guide them out of the mist. But in reality, the people who are presenting themselves as the option, they are the real cause of the problem. So it's like They have created a system where you'll never get out of it until you go within and reclaim your own power and start to do the inner work and focus on yourself. That's the only way out. The way out is to go inward.
It's the only way. This is the ultimate incarnation trap. Ultimate. And then they'll use you to harvest that power that you have internally and naturally for their own use, for their own creation. Now, anyone watching these types of videos or is familiar with spiritual court of equity here will know we don't do things like that. So I'm going to offer support. This is the ultimate source of all sources, spiritual court of equity. And new levels have opened within it because it is huge. So I'm urging all souls to take a stand in this moment and focus the power of your internal thought into your core. And when we all join together with the power of thought, seen and in non-physical reality, we have tremendous results. So, bringing yourself into awareness, each soul, pure awareness, pure light. And I'm going to speak to them all. Your ancestors were destroyed systematically by these individuals, groups, and so on. And I'm just going to ask you, each soul, to focus on your freedom and the truth of existence in you. Bringing your awareness into your sacred universe within. You are sacred, despite being told otherwise. And in this, while that's happening, I want to address those that would interfere with Earth's natural processes, steal the people, harvest the life force, harvest the resources, and tell you how to live. Those behind the scenes that are hiding away, step on forward. We gladly receive you for this resolution process. So on behalf of all souls, all soul groups, I'm going to say to them, we're asking you to get off this planet. Your generations are fading. You may not use people as battery packs for your existence. You may not convert humans that don't want to be converted. Maybe it's your pathway to be converted and live that and find out. But it will hurt you 33 generations into the future. You may as well write off your future generations because you carry this. And that is serious talk. And I mean business. From what I've observed and what I've known, working with people's souls in various different ways to help them heal from this trauma of reality that has been forced upon you. Can you describe to me what's going on with these geezers? I know some of them are angry, but hey, what's new?
Yeah. Yeah, so when I do the focus, I'm getting this kind of an overload. Like they believe themselves to be gods. And so for those people who have had encounters with some of these beings, they are nasty, they demand obedience, they demand you bend the knee, and if you don't do that, things don't end up well for you. And it's like they have this sense of fear, or they project this sense of fear once they're in presence of a human
Setting it
to
on that.
yeah to portray this godlike kind of mentality that they believe they are. So, and when they are here, they are coming with that kind of an attitude. How would an earthling who is beneath me, how you don't even have power to address me, like you have to go to another person so that that person can speak on your behalf. This is the kind of mentality they have.
We are done with that because you can't stop people from thinking, even with your totalitarian thought police programs and algorithms. You can monitor it. Well, monitor this, dear people. So, monitoring every single maneuver, deal done is shady. It's only the goodness in humans that will prevail. And they don't have that. So already I'm showing to them that they are incapable. Maybe they are capable. Maybe they'll have their moment of awakening, but it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Some are setting down they don't want that. They know there's a portion there, about 25% of them, that do not want that and have been coerced into this. So we're dealing with inner earth and some oh, I've been going through my throat all day. Pardon me.
Eh, You're on mute.
My finger said it all. Anyway, I'm just showing them that all souls know who we are. We know what we're capable of, and it's happening now. And this is not so much a resistance, it's just non-compliance. We do not comply. If there's anybody there in the soul groups that do comply fully, then I'm going to put you in the direction of the elders of your culture, from the stars, from other locations, because they are on board with us. They know which way they want their life to travel, their light to travel through human form. They know what has been done to them, and it's just a matter of uncovering it and resolving it, drawing a line under it so we can evolve in peace. Thanks. In the spiritual court of equity, who wants to evolve in peace? To all souls, all races, all star cultures. Who wants that?
I'm getting a huge overwhelming yes. Everyone wants that.
Right. So I invite the power of thought of all souls here today to just start deconstructing the narrative, deconstructing the lies. They're being assisted. And also here, I'm going to observe the balance of power. We are being fully observed throughout the universe in this moment, all multiverses. Right, that's incredibly powerful. I'm just going to invite them to step it up a level with the
Yep.
power of the thought from the center of your mind down to your gut. down to your heart, connected into Mother Earth. And can you tell me how domination and controllers are looking right now?
I think it doesn't matter because what I'm seeing is that they believed were so huge. It's like they have realized they no longer have that power they perceived to be having. So it's like they're just seated down watching things happen without them having the ability to manipulate or control or say anything. It's like they're just there waiting for the verdict to be made because they already know that the veil has been lifted and they are being seen in multiple timelines and multiple generations.
Illuminate it further. Utilizing every soul's connection. This is a soul rebellion for peace, where people just say, no, I'm not doing that. You lie. You are not authentic. You're not in your truth. You're in false patterns, reliving the suppression of the past. Now, what I'm observing here is an incremental reduction in the numbers who have suddenly have dropped their interest in Earth and its inhabitants. So the red mist, the ideologies that are designed to break down the totalitarian ideologies that are used to break down the family, businesses, the individual in favor of one for all communist thinking, which really just involves people harvesting from the top down. And in the meantime, people starve in a planet that is so abundant because of their regulations and operations. The dark hand sits like that. And this is especially apparent in Britain, where you literally feel the suppression behind your back, stifling your every creative move. Souls of Britain, do you want this? Or have you given up because you're so tired of fighting? You see, both parties that are presented to you are the same being.
Yeah.
And like every good narcissist, they want your energy. They don't care how painful it is. This is the ideology of abuse, and humanity is being abused. When do you say no? When do you say no? Actually, I've had it. Right, souls are illuminating further. Now, those who decided to reduce the population by a substantial amount, step forward. Who made the decision? And who went along with it? I speak like this because it's like dealing with naughty children who don't know any better. They do. So those from in the earth, I urge you to get back in your pit, get back in your box, because you're not living. Those in the earth that support peace on earth, step forward and take control of your zone now. All councils that are present, all elders present.
Yeah.
Now, mass instruction has just taken place, literally in the form of drama be gone. Observations, please, Harrison.
Well, looks like the tables have already overturned, and this kind of power, the system was thinking that, or these controllers that they had, they are seeing they no longer have it. But also, I'm also telling the court, there are guys who love peace and progress and all that. You can't strive for that if you are always taking the back seat, because the other guys are quite aggressive and they are few, but they are very well organized and they make sure they focus really well to achieve their agenda. And this is how they're able to smash the majority of the people on this planet, because they're very coherent in terms of achieving their plans. So the peace lovers, or those people who fight for peace and are looking forward to live in peace and harmony with one another, you can't let this to continue to happen by always taking the back seat. And since it's not your head that is being roasted, you turn the other cheek. So this is what I'm expressing to the court.
Very good. Action requires free will. An animal.
Yeah.
So souls in the future on Earth who wish to co-create a natural harmonic evolution of the species in natural form, unhindered by man-made disease, unhindered by this intense, aggressive attack on each other in a focused way. Those attackers who are well organized, those globalist organizations that are well organized, governments that appear to be well organized. All these candidates here that are experiencing difficulties, listen, they will come for you next. If they haven't come for your family already, they're going to come for you next. And it's not until you wake up and see, feel, sense, experience the depths of your universal soul in this physical body and create your way out of this using multiversal thought and the power of your own thought to say, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to live in this way. Unified. That's when we're going to see the results. And things are changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there will be no other option than to not literally fight for your soul, but to live your soul, because there is no other way. Your inner conscience speaks to you, but it is blocked in your central nervous system because you're absorbing and manifesting the reality of others who serve their own self, and the pockets behind it harvesting your life and your light.
Yeah.
Let those words ripple out through all universes to all souls as we take affirmative action in this moment. As we dream the great dream of Earth to exist in peace, I'm just bringing Earth into the center of the spiritual court of equity as a planetary entity, as a physical entity, so we can get an observation of what is going on. And from that Earth entity, from those portals from which we were all created in the higher planes of alchemy, I'm going to invite the demiurge. What does Steiner call it? Something? I can't remember. I do apologize. Steiner calls it, it's that face that's all angry. Can't remember. Those energies that imprint upon your solistos, your light. And I'm asking for it to be removed from Earth. This is a process that's going to take a few minutes, maybe 5, 10 max. We hope a rapid acceleration of this removal because it was easy. Could you describe what you're seeing? I do.
What I'm seeing is like this spider web, like attaches itself to multiple people. Like it becomes your eyes, it becomes your arms, it becomes the speech that you speak. It's like the moment it comes in contact with you, it's like a parasite that takes over the host, and it presents itself as the original person or the soul or the being. And it's like it's hungry for those who are able to resist it. Like, for example, those people have the light shining so high, it kind of targets them, searches for them, and if it doesn't succeed in getting them, it makes sure the system that's running targets those guys super extremely heavy, frustrating them in every single way or the actions that they are doing, and making life difficult for those people.
Their families as well. They use their ancestors and present difficulties for the individuals so that they repeatedly experience system trauma.
Yeah.
And repeat the cycle over and over again into the future, and they'll just keep feeding. So again, I'm referring to the soul's power of their own creation, the power of their own light. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just picking up. There are some smaller things that are being concluded, sealed, stamped, like everything has been decided, and they are being archived. And it's like the power that they thought they had no longer exists.
It was like the tide turned and went, no, and smashed the whole lot to the floor. And the voices of these governments and those that are trying to control now into the future, nobody's hearing them. And it's like their lips are moving, but the people can't hear what they're saying.
Nope. Nobody wants to live in a nuclear wasteland. You know, nobody wants that.
No. Do you know what? People just want to come home to a home if they don't have one, which is quite common in the US and UK right now. But they just want to hang their coat up, put the keys on the table, sit down with their families and enjoy food together
Yep.
and be happy, safe, in peace, evolving in love, not this BS drama that is foisted upon everybody. So the financial system is a huge part of this. It's a huge sort of soul tax collection exercise for your existence to make the world a better place. But where is it going? Directly fund the wars and disagreements of the aggressive few. I can see that all coming in. Do you know what? I just see lots of pipes and connections dissolving from Earth. But I just want to check the status of the demiurge on Earth.
What I'm picking up, it's like all these tentacles that it had on to majority of the people are like cut off. But there are some people that they are still attached to this kind of being because they agree to it. It's like their own free will. They gave their own free will willingly.
Sold their souls.
Yeah, and those are the only people I see this kind of being still hanging on them. And it has quite a strong hold. And it's up to them to choose whether they are gonna let it go or whether it's gonna still thrive inside them. And given the monetary kind of aspect or gains they are getting because of allowing this being, I'm not seeing them giving it up.
Yeah, they don't want to. They like selling their souls and being basically spiritually violated minute after minute and used. Wow. There's some there that, receive very little. But look, this is a lesson for humanity. Once you start dealing with the dark, they never deliver.
Nope. And then you have to do something shameful in front of everyone, or bad consequences are gonna happen to you. Like the price is quite high.
How much is your soul worth? I ask that to every soul. How much do you want evolution? How much do you want to live what you originally came here for with your specific gifts and skill sets? How much do you want it? Or are you going to give your spiritual power away to a bunch of idiots that really don't care whether you live or die? Either way, they're going to make money from you.
Yeah.
Only your inner being knows this. What is best for you? What is best for your future generations? The power is in you. So again, let's use that focused thought with all soul groups in the spiritual court of equity today. Let's focus a positive focus, an unlimited focus. Without the system, it's just you focusing on evolution of your soul on this great infinite voyage. And I hear them shout, free. They want to be free.
Yeah.
Makes me get goosebumps. It's probably my songs out there shouting it out from the rooftops of the spiritual court of equity. Yeah, look, guys, you can do this. You've got this. System has got 2 inches. You have unlimited. You don't have to do any bizarre ritual to bring through specific souls because you birth yourselves, your future generations, your DNA, your bloodline. Just focusing the power of your thought into your bloodline via your own blood, via your own bone. Focus it there. Focus on peace in your reality, in your universe. Start creating, co-creating with every single cell in your body. Focusing on your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren into the future.
Yeah.
Giving them the strength to move forward with their inner conscience, their inner being, and their soul intact. It has begun. Because just when you think there's no other way, there is. And this has been one of my beliefs in my life. There is always a way. There is always a solution. And we just need to focus there and remove this BS from your universe. Clear it out. You do it. Just focus, power of thought. Right. Out. Because you're that powerful. And when you've had enough, you set your boundaries about what you accept into your universe. The miscreant acts of others, or the pure love that is you and what you incarnated with.
Yeah.
All souls vote in this global election. What are you voting for? Your ideology or system ideology? You voting for your soul, or are you voting for those with the limited DNA construct that cannot progress beyond a certain level? Who are you voting for? The illusion or your universe? Because their system is rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's lost the plot. Right. Now, every single soul here today, feel the spiritual force within you increase. In your whole, we're all doing this together. What are you feeling, Harrison?
I don't know, it's like I was thinking about a time when our country was voting for a new constitution, and the efforts that went to have this constitution and the struggle that was there. And it's like the same thing the entire world is being asked and being tasked with, and it's just a choice each and every single person has to make on their own. But also in terms of the court, I feel like things have really settled down. Like things are moving quite fast, and it's like a lot of weight has been moved. That's what I'm feeling.
Yep, you're absolutely right. This is the level of speed that is taking place and moving our consciousness forward. And this is the speed at which the change can happen. but it's got to come from within, in you, in your universe,
Yeah.
connected to all the other multiverses and the omniverse in totality, but always with love and peace. Because the moment you polarize into a deep negative feeling about yourself, it's not yours, it's not who you are.
Yeah.
It's coming in from somewhere. Despite how much trauma you've experienced in your life, it's time to reclaim your own power of your soul and your free will so you can evolve in perfect harmony with your plans. Now, what has propelled this spiritual court of equity along and made it operate faster than ever before is the focused intent of pure soul thought. Because every single group has taken responsibility and said no, and worked together in a unified way so that we can all evolve together. And that is where the true power is. Not in these stupid governments that are just basically getting you, all these governments having these elections this year to get you signed in, stamped, sealed, and delivered into their system so they can basically rob you blind of
Yeah.
everything. And every single soul said no. Yes, there'll be a process with those that have sold their souls and a process of repatriation. But the truth is the truth. And we've set the thing today for that. Those that seek behind the scenes to manipulate Earth, all those tendencies, all those groups, they're irrelevant because it is the soul that has the power. And that power lies within you. And your action is required in these times. So let's just view Earth. Just want to check out that black suppressive cloud has lifted. I suspect that black suppressive cloud of demiurgic tendencies has got all sorts of lovely crap or porkery, I love that word, weaved into it carefully, keep you limited. So I'm asking that level of negative alchemy to be removed, all the spells and curses, rituals, mystery schools that purport bad things, they are rendered useless. Because you're just playing games, silly child games on a universal level. Maybe you need to go back to a school, not necessarily one that is filled with mystery and separation from the people. They're feeling a little bit anxious about them because they stand to lose. How does Earth look to you?
At the beginning, the session, I could see this like darkness hovering around her, but I'm seeing her natural way of being, this bluish, vibrant of life, as she spins around, teeming with life and abundance, and like she's full of life. This is what I'm picking up. And I'm also getting that she was aware of what is happening, and there are measures that she's putting in place that's gonna gift this guy. It's like she's calling it a gift to her children, like this sense of freedom. But it's gonna come at her own timing and choosing. Like these are her own plans, but she's not willing to share with anybody
And that's
what
fine.
those plans are or the timings when she's gonna implement them. But they're on the way.
Feels good. And how does the entire court seem to you?
Hmm. I think I'm getting this information that we have done what's supposed to be done today. Like um other layers are still gonna be checked by the court to make sure that they don't go back and revert some of things that have been settled. But at this level where we are, we have nailed what's supposed to be nailed today, and the stamp has been done and sealed and archived into the records.
And I will continue the dialogue with all soul groups, all incarnated souls, about harnessing the power of their own soul thought and projection into this reality. And
Yep.
how easy it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. So, folks, look, that was a really, really rapid comeback after 3 months. Do get in contact if you would like a session with myself, Angela Miller, or perhaps you want to contact Harrison. You can find us through social media, just about, in my case, just about, because I don't. Anyway, so if you would like a session, a retreat, or a training, do get in contact. We've got lots of goodies to help you. Or if you're young, under the age of 30, showing my age there, do get in contact, because I would love you to attend a group specifically for your own spiritual development. Guys, in Gen Z, you're powerhouses, absolute powerhouses, and are key manifestors in this reality. I really want to work and show you some cool stuff that will help you become the controller of your own reality, away from these old fuddy-duddies who think they've got your best interests at heart but do not know how evolved you are.
Yeah.
So thank you, Harrison, for your observations.
Thank you too for the session, and it was wonderful session, and looking forward to others.
Yeah, let's live it. That's it. Let's live it.
Yep.
Passam and tennis. Yeah, crappy Latin. All right then, lovely people. We'll see you again. Not sure when, but look, stuff is happening. Changes are being made, and everything is changing in every moment. So stay strong with the power of your focused thought. That's my recommendation today. I'm going to be lurking around in the comment section. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask, please do ask them. I'm going to be around for the next half an hour or so. If you would like to clarify anything.
Yep. And bye-bye.
Yes.